I know it might be hard to believe, but Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, who the world got to know as the villains of the social network, who Mark Zuckerberg famously duped and turned their idea into one of the biggest companies in the world, might actually be at the forefront of a counterculture movement. I think from the outside, the world kind of wants to not like these guys. They're 6'5", blonde, Harvard grads. They grew up in Connecticut. Their father was wealthy. They seem to have everything going for them. And yet, after being shunned by the mainstream venture capital community and being cut out of venture capital deals that Facebook had quite frankly overwhelmed, they went a different direction and found traction amongst the cryptographers and the counterculture world who are building the foundation of a new financial and global way of doing business. In the dozen years since Tyler and Cameron battled with Mark Zuckerberg, they've accumulated a fortune of $3 billion each. Everybody was skeptical about the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world for years. They were even more skeptical about Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss.
We were not financial experts when we came to Bitcoin early on. We bought a lot of crypto on Mt. Gox, which famously imploded, and very few people were believers who actually imagined where this could go. So we thought for this to go mainstream, for this technology revolution to really happen, we have to build reliable, safe, trusted infrastructure.
In 2014, they founded the Gemini cryptocurrency exchange. Unlike their nemesis, whose mantra was move fast and break things, Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss embraced an ask permission, not forgiveness mentality. Gemini is one of the most regulated cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, and while adoption for them has been slower than for some of the other bigger exchanges, they might be prepared for what some believe is the incoming onslaught of institutional adopters.
It started with building a bridge into the future of money, and then more recently, a bridge into the future of art. We think art should be digital. NFTs solve the digital scarcity problem.
In 2019, they acquired Nifty Gateway, an exchange for NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, that are now taking the world by storm. No, I have to talk about the twins, don't I? The other twins. Nifty Gateway was also founded by two twins, Duncan and Griffin Cockfoster, and in fact, these weren't just any two twins, they were two competitive rowers. What had started off as just a way to use your credit card to buy NFTs was about ready to become an entire marketplace for NFTs and a place to securely store them.
Quite frankly, as we move more and more closer to the metaverse, you'll want art in your online world.
I need to ask you, since you use it, if you could just please define it. What is the metaverse?
The metaverse is the recreation of the offline world in the online setting. I think a good example of the metaverse would be Fortnite, where people have signed in and they even have held concerts. In the early days, it was totally unclear whether people were actually going to move on to this platform. And we saw that with social networking. There's so much skepticism around, will people actually share their stuff online and do this? And of course, we know how that's gone. Today, data of a social network is owned by that company. And in the future, we believe it will be owned by the individual who provides that data, whether it's photos or content or whatever. They will own that content and it's theirs. And quite frankly, it is theirs rightfully. We believe that.
If you take a close look at the companies, not only that they're building, but the companies they're investing in, you can start to read between the lines that a narrative is developing that what they are building could someday disintermediate Facebook, Amazon, Google, and many other centralized companies. The world that Tyler and Cameron accidentally ended up finding themselves in might actually make them the perfect nemesis for Facebook in a way that not even they ever imagined.